What's up guys, the Lazy Goldmaker here. We're back with another video preparing for the Burning Crusade Classic anniversary realms that are coming up. So today I wanted to talk about what you can do to prepare right now, so you're ready to either, if you just want the gold, so you can buy epic flying right away when you go into the Burning Crusade if you don't have that much gold right now, or if you are looking to make a lot of gold in the Burning Crusade for whatever reason. Obviously that might be why you're on my channel. So the first thing you should do is to level your characters. I just have this level 5 guy on the anniversary realm, so we'll see if I have time to level 1 before. I'm going to try to level a character up. But in general, if you want to make gold, you should have every profession available at max level. So I would suggest leveling 4 characters if you can, and you don't have to level them all the way to 60, but that is an advantage if you can. It's going to be faster in the pre-patch as well, but if you can get a start on an alt right now, that's going to be a real advantage for gold making reasons, and it is going to help you out to make some more gold on your main if you can do that. I try to always have every profession maxed out if I can, and I think that's a very sensible goal to have if you're into gold making. Now the next step is going to be quite obvious, and in the same way, you're going to want to max out your professions on those characters. Now the nice thing is that you don't need to be more than level 35 to get max level classic professions. So that is quite attainable. It doesn't take that long to level 35. So that means you can prepare your characters. You can take advantage of the fact that right now there's not much going on. It's the end of the expansion. Material prices are generally quite low. And probably the lowest point they are going to be for at least a while. They will eventually actually usually go up in value a little bit once we get into the Burning Crusade, because then no one is farming the classic zones anymore. Now, obviously, the last thing you want to prepare is to get some gold. You want a war chest. If you're going to play the Burning Crusade, then you're going to want to have 6,000 gold ready to go to get flying mounts and epic flying on your main. And then obviously, if you're going to go into gold making, there are a lot of recipes that you want gold for. If you're going to level jewel crafting, then you want to be able to buy the jewel crafting recipes off of the auction house, and they're going to be like 1,000 gold a pop maybe for the good ones. That was what they were priced at back in the Burning Crusade Classic the first time around. So how can you make gold right now? Well, there are a lot of options. Number one, you can just be a farmer if that's what you like. Farming is always farmer will just always work. Now, the one thing I would strongly suggest if you're going to do farming is to take a look at the WoW profession leveling guides to figure out what you want to craft or what you want to farm. So if you have mining, for instance, my suggestion is to focus on items that are a bottleneck for leveling. So we're going to look at the blacksmithing leveling guide here. We see that we need a lot of thorium, so thorium is a really good option. You also need quite a bit of mithril bars and a lot of solid stones. There's also the lower level stuff that you need a lot of, but the value is probably a lot lower right now. So I'd suggest focusing on mithril and thorium for blacksmithing. If you have herbalism, there's a lot more options. You can obviously do the higher level stuff, blindweed, golden sandsam, or you can do sungrass. Here, a lot of these are going to keep a lot of an okay amount of value, but herbalism probably is going to be a little bit less long-term value because it's pretty much only used for leveling eventually. Although there are some utility potions that are going to keep value. The higher level ones, this is usually where you see some reasonable prices. If you want to do skinning, then we would have to check the leatherworking guide here. We can see that thick leather, rugged leather are used in really large quantities, so I would definitely prioritize going for these two. The lower ones are usually a lot cheaper because people will generate more of these just naturally by leveling, because they often pick skinning early on and get a little bit of leather. We can see thick leather is the highest quantity and rugged leather is the second highest, and they are more time consuming to farm than the ones up at the top here. If you have a mage, or if you are a mage, then obviously you can be boosting right now. There are a lot of people leveling their characters. It does require some skill to learn the routes and stuff. but right now is going to be the time where people are leveling, and they are eventually adding the anti-boost tech to the game with the pre-patch. So this is something to take advantage of right now. Going to give you a lot of raw gold, and you're going to get a good chunk of gold from the people paying you for the boost. So if you can do any of the boosts, or if you know any of them, then that is a really good option. Also, obviously, just AoE farming with mages in any of the spots where they can do it. Crafting is almost always my favorite way to make gold. And there are a lot of things you can craft right now to make gold. Anything that people use to level. So there are some consumables that people buy to level. There's leveling gear, there's bags, there's a lot of options. Something I've always liked is the Dreamweave set. So this has usually been very, very profitable for me when I've had tailoring. The Dreamweave circlet is like really good all the way up to level 60. This was even something that was used pre-bis for a lot of people. You can equip these at level 45 and level 40, and they have a lot of spell damage for their level, so they're just really, really good for casters looking to level. There are similar options across the various armor crafting professions. So just take a look, see if there's anything particular, anything rare that stands out that people may want to get while leveling. That would be really good, and then obviously bags is something they will all need. Now the last thing you can do right now, and this is something I would very heavily suggest, is material flipping. So that's what I did on this character. Some of you will remember where I went from like 1 gold up to 1,000 just from flipping the auction house. And this is going to be really good. And the reason for that is that classic materials are going to keep their value or even potentially go up in value after the Burning Crusade launches. So if you are just continuously buying materials, you always have a good stockpile of materials ready to sell, and you always have a bunch of them on the auction house. You're going to take advantage of that. You're also going to take advantage of the period very close to launch or close to the pre-patch where people are like, oh my god, I need to actually level my jewel crafting. I'm going to have to go buy my materials. And they're going to come to the auction house and they're going to find your stuff, hopefully for more than you bought it right now. So I would suggest just looking through my old material flipping guide. It's linked in the video description. Just go in on that. Focus. I would stay away from herbs. Focus on dust. Focus on various elementals. Focus on thorium and mithril bars. They should all be pretty good. And all be items that are going to keep a lot of value. So yeah, that's it. That should put you in a good position for the Burning Crusade when it launches over Christmas. Thanks for watching. Good luck.